Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to the Comptia Security Plus course. White box and black box testing. System testing is generally broken down into two categories, black box and white box. Black box testing utilizes people who do not know the system. These people are programs, if automated, test the functionality of the system. Specific knowledge of the system code and programming knowledge in general is not required. The tester does not know about the system's internal structure and is often given limited information about what the application or system is supposed to do. In black box testing, one of the most common goals is to crash the program. If a user is able to crash the program by entering improper input, the programmer has probably neglected or thoroughly checked the error handling code and or input validation. On the other side of the spectrum, white box testing, also known as transparent testing, is a way of testing the internal workings of the application or system. Testers must have programming knowledge and are given detailed information about the design of the system. They are given login details, system testers might use a combination of data flow testing and other techniques such as stress testing, penetration testing, sandboxes. Stress testing is usually done on real-time operating systems, mission critical systems and software, and checks if they have the robustness and the availability required by the organization. A penetration test is a method of evaluating a system's security by simulating one or more attacks on that system. A sandbox is a term applied to when a web script or other code runs in its own environment, often a virtual environment, for the express purpose of not interfering with other processes, often not testing. Sandboxing technology is frequently used to test unverified applications for malware, malignant code, and possible errors such as buffer overflows. A third-party category that has become more common of late is grey box testing, where the tester has internal knowledge of the system from which to create tests but conducts the test the way a black box tester would at the user level. Compile time errors versus runtime errors. Programmers and developers need to test for potential compile time errors and runtime errors. Compile time errors refers to the duration of the time during which the statements written in any programming language are checked for errors. Compile time errors might include syntax errors in the code and time checking errors. A programmer can check these without actually running the program and instead checks it in the compile stage when it is converted into machine code. A runtime error is a program error that occurs while the program is running. The term is often used in contrast to other types of program errors such as syntax errors and compile time errors. Runtime errors might include running out of memory, invalid memory address access, invalid parameter value, or buffer overflows, dereferencing a null pointer, to name a few, all of which can only be discovered by running the program as a user. Another potential runtime error can occur if there is an attempt to divide by zero. These types of errors result in a software exception. Software and hardware exceptions need to be handled properly. Consequently, structured exceptional handling (SEH) is a mechanism used to handle both types of exceptions. It enables the programmer to have complete control over how exceptions are handled and provides support for debugging code issues and errors that occur in either compile time or runtime could lead to vulnerabilities in the software. However, it's the runtime environment that would need to be more interesting from a security perspective, because the more often it made to various vulnerabilities, including sensitive data exposure or take advantage of a security flaw. If validated as a web page with a PHP based contact form, data entered within preg match a ZAZ09 forward. This is part of a larger piece of code that is checking as this make sure the user is not trying to enter a backslash in the domain name portion of the email address. This is not allowed in email addresses and could be detrimental if used maliciously. Note in the first line within the brackets it says AZAZ09, which is telling the system what characters are allowed. Uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, periods and dashes are allowed, but other characters such as backslashes, dollar signs and so on are not allowed. Those other characters would be interpreted by the forms supporting PHP files as illegitimate data and would not be passed on through the system. The user would receive an error which is a part of the client-side validation. The more a PHP form is programmed to check for errors, the more it is possible to have additional security rules. Therefore, server-side validation is even more important. Any data that is passed on by the PHP form in fact, an attacker might not even be using a form in question and might be attacking a URL of a web page in some other manner. This can be checked at the server within a database software or through validation. Also goes for pages that utilize JavaScript. This is just one basic example. As mentioned previously, fields should be tested for good invalidation code, client side and server side. By combining the two and checking every access attempt, you develop complete mediation for requests. Static and dynamic code analysis. Static code analysis is a type of debugging that is carried out by examining the code without executing the program. This can be done by scrutinizing code visually or with the aid of specific automated tools, static code analyzers based on the language being used. Static code analysis can help to reveal major issues with code that could even lead to disasters. While this is an important phase of testing, it should always be followed by some type of dynamic analysis. Fuzz testing. This is when the program is actually executed while it is being tested. It is meant to locate minor defects in code and vulnerabilities. The combination of static and dynamic analysis by an organization is sometimes referred to as glass box testing, which is another name for white box testing. So I'm going to leave it here today for this video. If you like listening, please consider like, sharing and subscribing. Thank you.